Okay, welcome. Today I'm joined with Jake. Today we're going to be doing some NBA talk just to change it up a little bit. NBA season just started. Going to be going through it. Jake, thank you for hopping on today, man.
Man, thank you for having me as always.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure having you on. So, want to just kind of start this video slash talk going over just who we think is going to be making the playoffs this year for each conference. I've got the East pulled up right now. So I think how we want to go about is you say a team, and then if I have the team, I'll tell you if I have them or not, and then we can just kind of talk about it. So, who's the first team you got in there?
Um, we're going no particular order. We'll definitely start. Who's at the top right now? I mean, Boston for sure. They're for sure gonna make it. There's no doubt. I mean, they're still rolling. I mean, I'm surprised by the first three games. Hey, Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, they don't look like they're missing a beat.
I agree. I've also got Boston. Like you said, they look like they haven't missed a beat, and they look pissed off to me. Like they're still salty
Hmm.
about what happened last year in the finals, being up 2-1, having that lead in the fourth quarter of Game 4, and being pretty damn close to getting that chip. And they look pissed and they look like they're on a mission. So I've got them too. I think that's a no-brainer for sure, even without their coach.
Yeah, even without the coach, how they respond with that noise that's going on, I think they just keep on rolling. I mean, they're doing really good, and that's hard to say. Uh, the next team, though, of course, the Milwaukee Bucks. You gotta have Giannis in there. I mean, I it's early to say. I think Giannis has got another MVP. The man in the first two games. I mean, wow. I think he just had a 40-point night and only missed four or five shots.
Jeez. I've got the Bucks too. Like you said, if Giannis is still in the league, and if he's still playing, for the Bucks or whoever team, that team should automatically have a bid to make the playoffs. So, I mean, you could make a case that they should have been in the finals last year if Chris didn't go down, and if all things go well
Mhm.
for them, maybe they've got another finals trip this year if everyone's healthy going into the playoffs. So, I got the Bucks again on this one too for sure.
Fingers crossed they can all stay healthy. That's the one thing I I preach. I think every NBA fan says, I just want a healthy season all the way through.
X.
Um, Next team, I think this might be a little bit of a surprise. The Cleveland Cavaliers. I like the pickup of Donovan Mitchell. I think on paper they look like one of the deepest teams. I mean, they got a lot of pieces. It's just can they get it to work? I think they can. They're young, but I guess we're gonna have to wait and see.
I've also got the Cavs too, actually. Last year they were doing great, and they were one of the best defensive teams before Jarrett Allen went down. And then after they lost their defensive anchor, obviously everything dipped for them. But he's coming back. Second year for Evan Mobley. Like you mentioned, Donovan Mitchell joining that team. Like this team, I think is poised for a pretty deep run, I would say, if all things go well for them and everyone stays healthy and all that. Like this is a team that I also have down, and I think it's definitely going to be a team to watch. And the East should be on notice for this team. I don't really think anybody really wants to see this team in the playoffs.
Especially if they get rolling and they start playing how good team basketball all around and where, it's like this guy's got 15, this guy's got 13, this guy's got 20 and they can all play with that. They don't care who's scoring. Yeah, they're going to be a very scary team.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Um I've got the Brooklyn Nets. I Kevin Durant and Kyrie. I think they figure it out. I mean, they might have to will their way into a play-in? I don't think so. I think they might be looking at a 5 or a 6 seed, maybe a 4. I think it's gonna be hard for them to try to contend with Boston and Milwaukee. I don't think they can contend for them top 2 spots, but I for sure have got the Brooklyn Nets making the playoffs. You can't count out KD.
I've got Nets as well. Like you said, just on paper, this team's great. I mean, still have KD, still have Kyrie. You're gonna have all your shooters come back eventually. And as much shit as we give Ben Simmons, for what he can't do offensively, he makes up for defensively, you know? I mean, as long as he doesn't foul out, you know, super quick like he did the other night. But once I think this team figures it out, I still think they're going to be a scary threat in the East and a team. I don't care who it is. This is a team that I don't think anybody wants to play. Like I said about the Cavs, I think it applies to this team too. You don't want to see this team in the playoffs. Maybe except if you're Boston, because um, that's we all know what happened last year. But I don't know. I agree with you. I have the Nets on here too. I think they'll figure it out.
Definitely, I 100% agree. Nobody wants to see them in a 7-game series.
Nope.
Um, I've got the Hawks. Just going back, I mean, you opened my eyes with you reminded me about the trade that they made for Murray. That's a very good pickup for them. They're a young team. I think last year, is going to leave a bad. How they finished last year is going to leave a bad taste in their mouth compared to the year before that, making it to. Didn't they make the Eastern Conference Finals against the
Yeah, the year
Bucks that
before.
year? That's what I thought. So I think Trae Young kind of comes back with a little bit of a vengeance. I think he wills the Hawks in. I think Murray helps them. Um, I think the Hawks will their way in. I don't know if they got an Eastern Conference run in them. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see how they get going after a few weeks in. But I've got them making the playoffs for sure.
I agree with you 100%. I've also got the Hawks in there. And like you said, I don't know. I agree with you 100% about I don't know if they can make a conference finals run like they did a couple of years ago, just because the East this year is better than this might be the best Eastern Conference we've had in a long time. In a
Hmm
long time. And
In a long one.
yeah,
I
you
think
know,
almost in all honesty, the whole league. I think all around the league is very very nice. It's almost to the point we've got like 3 to 4 bottom teams now. It seems like the East and the West has like two very very horrible teams, and then there's like the three that are above them are kind of fighting for that play in. Kinda.
and you can
I
make a
like where
case
the
even
league's
for the
at
bad
though.
teams, even the bad teams, you kind of can talk yourself into it a little bit. But
Is it bad to is it kind of bad to say? Well, not bad to say, but um, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of you can argue that almost every team has at least one star player,
oh
like
yeah,
close to an all-star caliber player. Like almost every team has one.
the talent in this league, like you said, it's probably the best talent-wise we've ever had. Like, or even the bottom feeder teams still they'll fight you on a random, Wednesday night, this random game in the middle of the
The-
season in, a team that shouldn't even be in contention. But uh, to go back to our original point, I've got the Hawks. I really think that DeJounte Murray is going to be a big addition for them, and I really do think that they're not done making any moves. I think maybe by the trade deadline we'll see one more, but I can already see defensively they're improved, and then just taking some pressure off Trae Young, controlling the offense, having Murray run it a little bit here and there. Like I can see this working out, but I've also got the Hawks.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree. Definitely helping Trey like alleviate some of the load from Trey. I think that's definitely what they've been missing. One piece of what they've been missing. I think they're missing a little bit more, but
Yeah,
that's for probably a whole another topic of discussion.
yeah.
Now to the nitty-gritty, the very, very tough part, the last 2. This is where well, the last one, we both talked it over. We kinda left it as a or, kinda left the 8 seed for it could be this team or this team. For my first team, I've got the Chicago Bulls. I
Wait one
I
second.
think
So
they're
I
deep.
have right now we have the Hawks, Cavs, Nets, Bucks, Boston. That's 5 teams right now. Let me think here. We didn't mention anybody else, right? I think that's all we've got right now.
Oh, wait, I skipped over one, sorry. The Toronto Raptors, sorry.
Okay, no, you're good. You're good. But you're definitely right. We're getting to the nitty gritty. So you have the Toronto Raptors. This will be the
I
sixth
do.
team.
Yes, yeah, Raptors.
I've got the Raptors
Um,
as well. I mean,
I
Scotty Barnes is going to take another leap. They've
Mhm.
got that defensive identity. I think once they figure this out a little bit more in the season, they still have some players left from that championship team a couple years ago, and I don't know, man. This team's feisty, and they've got that Toronto in them, and they're gonna fight. And I think they're just, second year Scotty Barnes. I think we'll see a big jump for them, and I think they'll make it as well.
I totally agree. I like Scotty Barnes' game. I like Spicy P. Gotta like Pascal Siakam.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, Freddie. Everybody's gotta like Freddie. Gotta love a guy like that. They're a chippy team. They're gonna fight to the end. That's why I've got the Raptors.
So that
Um,
is one, two, three, four, five. We have six teams right now, so we have one more for sure, and then we have the two teams we're going to talk about to kind of fight for that eighth seed. But like you said, no particular order. So this next one, and I know a lot of the people listening are probably wondering why we haven't said them yet. I do have Philly making it. I know they're off to a rough
ooh,
start right now, but um, Joel Embiid, he's gonna have probably another almost MVP type season. James Harden right off the get go is looking great, looking like 2018 Harden again in shape. And Tyrese Maxey, who we'll mention talk about later in the video, I really think that he's gonna take a big leap this year. So I've got Philly. I really think that they've got a squad around them. They added PJ Tucker, so I think I've got Philly making it as well.
I actually left them off for the Heat.
Oh, okay.
I it I really sat and thought about it for a minute. I really don't know if Philly's gonna miss the playoffs. Early looking at them though, they've got some issues. I mean, they're playing a lot better than they were, but they have Doc Rivers as a coach, and it seems like almost every team that's had Doc Rivers since his beef after his Boston days, it's come back to bite him in the ass.
Yes.
Um, I I do think they look good on paper. I mean, PJ Tucker, Tyrese Maxey. I mean, that Tyrese Maxey, that guy is he's gonna be something really good. It's awesome to see him being able to learn from James Harden. It's just his game's gonna take a whole 'nother jump after this year. Um, I just think James Harden can't be coached. I'm just gonna say it. I don't think he can be coached.
So before we go off on this one, I agree with you 100% about James Harden not being able to be coached, which will lead into a topic later in the video we're going to talk about. But so you have Philly as your bubble eighth team right now. So I've also got them. I've my eighth team was, I guess, my eighth team with the bubble team. I have the Heat and the Knicks going for that last spot. I know the Knicks. I know you guys are probably wondering why the hell do you have the Knicks, but Jalen Brunson, I think, is going to really do a lot of stuff, a lot of good stuff for the Knicks. Julius Randle, if he shows up in shape, and RJ, I think, is going to take that next step up. And I think they'll probably try to make a trade or something like that midway through the season. But I think the Knicks are going to be in the play-in position, and the Heat, obviously, still have Jimmy Butler, still have Bam, still have Eric Spoelstra. I mean, have a good squad, and they're always going to probably be in contention. But I've got them two as my fighting for that eighth seed. And then, so you had Philly, and who was your other team that you had fighting for that last spot?
It was between the Heat and actually Bulls for me. I actually left Philly out. My 8 is actually Heat or Bulls, but thinking about Philly too, that was the whole other like, it could have been my another team that could be in there, but looking at it, I almost smacked myself for leaving Miami out. Cannot sleep on that madman Jimmy Butler.
No, no.
Um, and I just think the Chicago Bulls, if they get Lonzo back and they can be healthy, I think the Bulls can be something good. I mean, DeMar, Zach Levine, um, who's their center that they got?
Vucevic?
Vucevic or whatever. Yeah, there we go. I botched that last name. Sorry about that, but hey, they got Caruso. I mean, they picked up Andre Drummond. I mean, Andre Drummond is kind of but that's in the past now. I think the Bulls can make a run for it. Can they do it? Well, Let's hope. I can't believe I'm saying that about a Chicago team, but let's hope. I'd like to see the Bulls do something.
That was my next bubble team, I guess, if you want to say, just because I already know, like, Lonzo, we're probably not going to see him this season, especially from what we heard that he's way behind on all his knee
Mhm.
stuff. So I wanted to put them in, but I just think that as good as DeMar DeRozan is and Zach LaVine, I just think that they're going to struggle to stick with these top teams, and that's just my opinion. Maybe DeMar kind of boost them up a little bit and they figure it out. But without Lonzo, I really think it's going to be tough for them to kind of stick around within this feisty East. Like we already mentioned, this is a strong Eastern Conference, strongest conference we've seen in a long time. But I don't blame you for putting the Bulls on there just because DeMar had a great season last year and probably poised for another good season this year. So.
I know we're both hoping for a Pistons playoff appearance, but it's sad to say I think we might have to wait one more year, but it's early, so come on, Pistons, make that play in this
I'm
year.
with you 100%.
I want the Pistons to make the play in this year. I really would like to see the Pistons make it.
That would be great. And, we've talked about it. They won the NBA draft this year, I would say. And I wanted to put them as like they're probably like a 10th seed, but maybe like you said, I've got them maybe one more year away, maybe two at the max, but I think they're gonna figure it out, and I think they're gonna bring the grit and grind back to Detroit, how it's supposed to be. It's gonna be like a reincarnation of the Bad Boys. I really like this squad where it's going, a team that does not take shit from anybody, and I'm excited to see. Detroit's got a great future. I really wanted to put
Mhm.
him in, but I wanted to think with my brain instead of my heart, and I agree with you 100%. I think they're going to be like another year away still. So, but Detroit on the come up.
Not the ceiling, like Michael Jordan said, "The ceiling is the roof," but, I at at the end of the day, the future is bright for Detroit. I hope.
I can't disagree with you. So those are our East teams. Couple different, but for the most part, we've got most of the same teams making it. Holy crap! I just that ref just got hit in the head with a football as he was. Sorry, I went off track there, but that's funny. Holy crap. So we're gonna transition to the Western Conference. So this one, West. We talked about how good the East was. The West has always been good. They've always been the better conference. So I think we're gonna have maybe a couple different teams, but we will take a look at it. So I guess if we want to start with it, who's the first team you have in the West, Jake?
Um, mm, just like before, no particular order, but I first team I wrote down with no hesitation, Los Angeles Clippers. I think arguably they're probably one of the most deep teams. I think they've got some of the best defensive players, like just all the way through their starters and bench. Um, Kawhi coming off the bench and embracing that role right now early, to get his legs back under him. I think that's just adding for a great a great season for the Clippers. You're not rushing Kawhi to get back. You're letting him get back at his own pace. I think that's what they need. I think the Clippers, honestly, I see them making a deep run this year. I see them shutting all the haters up. I really do. It's crazy to say it because there's a difference between who's the JV and who's the varsity team in LA this year, and it's by far the Clippers are the varsity team this year, and it kills me to say that.
Yeah, that's definitely weird hearing that come out of your mouth. Um, I also have the Clippers as well. Yes, on paper, I would say they have the most talented team, the deepest team. And like
Mhm.
you said, I really like how they're letting Kawhi go at his pace, letting him come off the bench and slowly get his sea legs under him. And John Wall in the opener against the Lakers looked pretty good, and they're not asking him to
Mhm.
do a lot. And you don't really need Kawhi to play 82 games right now. You have a deep team with a lot of players who need to get their touches and let him come back at his own pace. We all know that what really matters in this league is the postseason. So it's a long season, but I've also got the Clippers in there as well. I do
It's a
expect a deep
marathon,
playoff
not a
run this
sprint.
year. So
I think it's gonna be a very good year for them. I do. It's sad to say it, but man, uh, uh, leads to the next team. Oh, the Pelicans. I think almost everybody's got them making it. I mean, they got Zion back. Everybody was surprised they made the play-in last year. I think, uh, I think they surprised a lot of people last year.
yeah, I agree 100%. I also have the Pelicans down on as one of my playoff teams. Not only did they surprise a lot of teams last year, so they got CJ McCollum halfway through the season, so you're gonna have a full year of CJ with the team. You're gonna have Zion. I'm knock on wood if he's fully healthy all year. Brandon Ingram gonna probably take another leap. A deep team
Mhm.
around him and well coached team as well. And I think they're really gonna put the league on notice. I really think they're gonna even be in bid for like top 3 or 4 seed in this West, man, because this team, if they can stay
Ooh.
healthy, they're scary. And we saw what they almost did to Phoenix, last year. And now that this team's fully
Mhm.
healthy, we don't even know what their ceiling is. But I do have the Pelicans on here as well, for sure.
That is very true. I mean, thinking about it, like you said it perfectly. Nobody knows what their ceiling is. I was even trying to think about it too, because it's like I don't know where to even really put them because, like you said, how they played Phoenix last year. Oh, totally opened my eyes.
And I think how they played Phoenix exposed and gave the league a game plan for how to defend the Suns, which I think is what the Mavs did in the next round because they tired CP3 out. They've got a good defense. They've got those feisty players who are gonna they'll defend you the whole time. They don't care. And
Mhm.
this team, I don't know what their ceiling is, but I think at least for right now, we can for sure put them into the playoffs.
100% agree. Um, I guess we better say them before we get too far. And I see comments down in the bottom saying, "Well, why didn't you say these guys earlier?" Obviously, the defending champs, the Warriors. I mean, how can you have a playoffs without the defending champs? I mean, there's there's not too much to really go off of that. I mean, they've got everybody back. Um, well, not everybody, but they're still the Warriors. That's really what everybody can say. I mean, they're the Warriors. It's Steph Curry. They're gonna make it. There's no doubt there's no doubt they're gonna miss the playoffs with everybody they have healthy. I don't see Golden State missing the playoffs.
I was glad you went with the Warriors for the next pick because I was thinking the same thing. Everybody thinking like, how did you forget about the Warriors this long? But no, like you said, I don't think we need to talk about this one too much. The defending
Mhm.
champions, and that they've gotten better. Like Kaminga's gonna take that next leap. James Wiseman's looking pretty damn good to start the season. Moody, like they've got a deep team. They've got a nice blend of the past and the future, and I really like how they're doing this. And they're the defending champions for a reason, so I've got them as a playoff lock for sure.
100%. Um, Next team, Denver Nuggets. Back-to-back MVP, Jokic. They're getting Jamal Murray back. They picked up Cantavius Caldwell Pope, which I think is a very good move for them. Um, they're gonna get now a full season with Aaron Gordon because didn't they trade for him middle of the season last year?
That was 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Okay,
Yep.
so yeah, well, I
This
feel
will be
like
the
it's
first season where they're all together. Him, Porter, Murray, and Jokic.
and Michael Porter Jr. I think he's still coming back from injury. I don't know if he's played this year. Have not actually watched the Nuggets yet this year.
I
I
think I
know Jamal's not back yet though. I know he wasn't back, but definitely when he comes back, Denver's gonna be scary. I mean, they made it last year without Jamal Murray.
Yeah, I've got
That's
the Nuggets as well. This is, I think, like you said, a no-brainer. You got the back-to-back MVP, Jokic. trying to do what no one's done since Larry Bird, win 3 MVPs in a row. But they made it last year with just him, and now you're getting Jamal Murray back. Even a slower version of Jamal Murray, if if that's what you want to say, coming off injury. But that's still better than not having Jamal Murray at all. Michael Porter, eventually, once he gets healthy, I think the Nuggets for sure should be a lock. So I've got them as well.
100%. Next team I've got the Memphis Grizzlies. I mean, the fight they had last year, I mean, they had a hell of a run last year. I don't think really many people had the Grizzlies going past the first round outside of actual Memphis fans. Um, Grizzlies are definitely on the come up. Um, I think they might need to get humbled one more time, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. Definitely for sure though, the Grizzlies. Gotta love what Ja Morant does. Gotta love that guy.
I have the Grizzlies as well. I think that, hey, you said it best. They're on the come up, man, and this is going to be a team that, if they can keep this core together, they're going to be scary for a long time. I think Ja's poised for an MVP season this year, and like you said, I think that the amount of fight they showed last year, this is a team that you don't want to meet these guys in the playoffs, because if you're off on one night, I mean, if you think about it, they really gave the Warriors the toughest battle last year in the playoffs, outside of maybe
Arguably.
Boston. But I would even say I mean, they didn't have Ja for like a couple of those games, so I would say they gave the champs the hardest battle that they had to fight all season. So in that playoff,
I
so I've got
totally
the Grizzlies
agree.
as well. I think that, like you said, I don't know if this is the year they win it or they make it to the finals, but definitely need to be humbled one more time. But this is a team that they already got the league on notice, and they're going to continue to do so.
Mhm. Big time. Um, Next team. I'm gonna I'm gonna jump over my pick just to kinda so it burns a little bit more to the other fan base. I'll say next, the Dallas Mavericks. Gotta love Luca. I mean, Luca Magic. Come on. Who doesn't want the Dallas Mavericks in the playoffs?
I also have the Mavs too. I think just as long as you have Luca and you have the shooters around him, I mean that's a formula for success. And I really do think that they're going to bounce back. And even on opening night against the Suns, they were beating their ass again, and it looked like I was
Mhm.
watching Game 8 of that series. But in all reality, the Suns ended up coming back to win. But the Mavs, man, as long as you got Luca, you're gonna be fighting for that playoff spot. So I've got the Mavs too. This Luca, I think he is gonna be poised for an MVP season too. Um, I just don't. I don't know, man. The future's bright for this team too. Luca, certified superstar, top 5 player in the league. So I've got the Mavs as well. So
100%. And then the I've got the Phoenix Suns next. I mean, they're gonna be in this race. There's no way they're just gonna lay down and go back to the Phoenix Suns of the past. I don't see that. They've got a new identity. Book is he's a certified dog. I mean, yeah, we kind of bashed him for the shit talking he did, and getting shut the hell up by Luca last year. So I kind of feel like it might humble him a little bit. Um, I think the Suns do sneak in. I don't think they have a season that they had in the past couple seasons. I don't see them being in the top 3 of the West. I see them definitely being in that middle, though.
I've got the Suns as well making it in. Like you said, I know you didn't say it like this, but I think that their championship window for sure was closed last year. So I mean,
Mhm.
still good enough to make the playoffs, but like you got Devin Booker, you still got a young core with Cam Johnson, campaign, and I mean CP3's got to be getting close to the end of the road, but I mean he's still a good floor general. But I've got the Suns making it into so. Don't know if they're going to be poised for a deep run, but I have them making it in as well. And we are
I
down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're down to the last two for the 8th spot. So who are the two teams you have fighting for that last spot in the East?
Portland Trail Blazers and the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Exact same as mine.
I
The exact
I
same.
can't believe I'm leaving the Los Angeles Lakers out, but that is just I mean, anybody who watches basketball knows that that team has a whole bunch of "Who the hell are you?" That's the
Yeah.
Lakers are making it. That's just like a whole different topic. I could go on for that forever, but I'm not gonna even touch that with a 6-foot stick. So back to it. I've got the Blazers. I think Dame comes back and does Dame things. I think he's gonna will them in. I really do. I think he's gonna will them into a play-in spot. Um, Arguably, I think Dame could be in the running for MVP. I mean, I think it's finally time he's gonna probably open eyes more than what he already has. I just I want Dame to have a really good season. I really do. I like Damian Lillard as a player. I felt bad for him his whole career. Like his organization doesn't believe in him. I compare him to like Aaron Rodgers of the NBA. Great player, you got great skills, but good God, your teammates are horrible.
I actually that is a pretty damn good comparison. To be fair, I have got the exact same two teams fighting for that last 8 seed. And one second,
Excuse me.
I've got sorry about that, and I've got both of them. I think that the trades that the Timberwolves did to get Rudy Gobert is going to improve that defense. Anthony Edwards is going to take that leap. And I really think that this team, honestly, just for how deep the West is, like they should be a lock to make the playoffs. But just for how deep the West is, like probably going to be fighting for that last 8 seed. And then on Portland's side of it, man, like you said, I really think that just to start the season, Dame's looking good. Needed that year off, I'm thinking, and got decent players around him. And I think that they're going to be good enough to contend for the playoffs in the West. And that's kind of, those are the last two I think we'll be fighting. And unfortunately for all the teams we just named, it sucks that one of these teams is going to be left out of the playoffs. But, and I know you mentioned your
Mhm.
Lakers too. Yeah, we can talk more about them later. But, yeah, definitely weird not seeing you have the Lakers in there. But I appreciate you picking with your brain instead of your heart.
Oh yeah, gotta be a realist. I mean, Cancun's very nice, but good God, there's a lot of Laker fans down here.
Oh,
I've
geez,
got
it's
a
all right.
feeling that I got a feeling that Crypto Arena is not gonna be full of yellow and gold this year.
Yeah, even on opening night, man. I mean, I heard Jalen Rose talk about it on his show the other day, but that arena did look pretty empty for a Lakers game on opening night. Like, it looked pretty damn empty.
I actually peeped the highlights of the game, and I thought the exact same thing when I saw the tip off. I was like, is this a preseason game?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it, and it's not a good sign for LA basketball.
Mm-mm.
But so those are our standings. We're gonna take a little break here. Thank you for tuning in, and those are our standings for our predictions for who we think is gonna make it this year. And we want to thank you for joining us. And Jake, if you want to give us any shout outs right now, now would be the time.
Hey, thank you for having me as always, man. Thank you as always.
Oh, no problem at all, man. So thank you guys for joining us. Tune in. We're gonna have some more NBA, NFL content coming up, and then some Marvel content as well for any of you guys who like that kind of stuff. But as always, thank you for joining us, and we will see you later.
Like and subscribe.
Yes, sir.